When Sarah invited me to her company's annual holiday celebration, I hesitated. Her world always felt polished and untouchable, a place filled with confident smiles, elegant laughter, and people who seemed born to wear expensive suits and sip champagne while speaking in jargon I barely understood. I didn't belong there. My hands were rough from years of construction work, my boots permanently stained with dust and cement. My days were filled with steel, sweat, and noise, not jazz music and polished conversation. But Sarah insisted. "You're my husband." "You should be there," she said, her tone leaving no room for argument. So I agreed, hoping maybe I could meet her coworkers, fit in for a night, maybe even make her proud. I bought a new suit, got a fresh haircut, and practiced smiling in the mirror, trying to look like I belonged in her world. I didn't know that night would change the way I saw my wife forever. The party was hosted at a luxury downtown hotel. Chandeliers shimmered above like captured stars, and waiters floated past with trays of appetizers that looked more like museum pieces than food. Sarah glided through the crowd in a silver dress that caught every glimmer of light. She looked radiant, confident, magnetic, completely at home. People gravitated toward her, complimenting her work, her outfit, her charm. Laughter followed her everywhere she went. I stood beside her, quiet but proud, shaking hands and trying to blend in. Everything was fine, until her boss, Greg, showed up. He was tall, polished, and carried himself with the kind of charm that always seemed to demand attention. Wrapping an arm casually around Sarah's shoulders, he flashed me a grin. "So, this is the famous husband," he said loudly enough for the nearby group to hear. "The man behind all those late-night calls, huh?" The group laughed. I managed a tight smile, though his words landed heavier than I wanted to admit. Sarah laughed too, louder than anyone else. "Oh, Greg, stop teasing him," she said playfully. "He's not used to these fancy events. Usually, he's covered in construction dust." The laughter grew, some polite, others genuine. My jaw tensed. It wasn't the joke, and it was her tone. The way she said it, like I was just a punchline to keep the crowd entertained. Greg smirked again. "Well, at least he must be handy around the house." Without missing a beat, Sarah replied, "Only if you don't mind crooked shelves." Her laughter rang out again, the loudest in the room. I forced a smile, holding my glass tighter, trying to swallow the sting of humiliation that burned in my chest. Then she said it, the line that shattered something inside me. "He's sweet, but not exactly ambitious." I didn't yell. I didn't make a scene. I just stood there silently, realizing for the first time that the woman I loved might not respect me at all. I managed a faint smile, gave a small nod, and quietly excused myself. She didn't even glance my way as I left. Almost an hour later, my phone buzzed. Her voice came through the line, slurred with wine and laughter. "Left already? Guess the party wasn't your scene," she teased between giggles. I didn't reply. I simply ended the call. That night, I didn't crawl into our bed. Instead, I lay awake in the guest room, staring at the ceiling, replaying her words and that laughter that didn't sound like love anymore. The next morning, Sarah shuffled into the kitchen. Her hair was tangled, eyes tired, and her tone weary. "Rough night?" I asked calmly, taking a sip of my coffee. "Yeah," she mumbled. "Sorry if I said something stupid." "Everyone was just joking around, you know?" I didn't respond. Instead, I turned my laptop toward her. Her eyes widened at the screen, a viral video, already spreading across social media. There she was, laughing and mocking me, while Greg encouraged it, grinning beside her, color drained from her face. "Who uploaded this?" she whispered. I shrugged. "Does it matter? You wanted to look sophisticated. Now everyone's seen it." By noon, her phone wouldn't stop ringing. The video had reached her company's HR department. Greg was suddenly under investigation, and Sarah had been called in for a professional conduct meeting. When she came home that evening, her confidence was gone. Her face was pale, hands trembling slightly. "They said it makes the company look bad," she murmured. "Greg might lose his position, and they want me to issue a public apology." I gave a small nod, my expression unreadable. "Then you should. People need to see that humiliating others has consequences." The next day, Sarah posted a public apology. She admitted her mistake, accepted full responsibility, and promised to do better. Thousands responded, some cruel, others praising her honesty. But it didn't matter. The damage had already been done. Her reputation at work was shattered. Our marriage felt hollow, like something vital had broken and couldn't be fixed. I never yelled. I didn't seek revenge, I just withdrew. Silence settled between us, heavier than any argument could have been. Weeks slipped by. She tried to repair what was lost, small gestures, quiet attempts at reconciliation, but it was too late. I'd learned something I would never forget. Respect isn't measured when life is easy. It's tested when everyone is watching. That night, Sarah chose laughter over loyalty. By morning, she finally understood how it feels when the whole world is laughing, and this time, she was the punchline.